Amigos, ¿cómo estás? I'm back again. So this weekend, or sorry, last weekend, I went to Como. I've heard a lot about Como. I've heard people raving about how amazing the city is. They talk about the villas, they talk about the lake, and I decided, you know what? Let me see this city. Let me see if it is as amazing as people claim it is. Let me see if it is worth its weight in gold. So I took a train from Parma. No, but before I go, let me tell you about Como. So Como is an Italian city located in the region of Lombardia. It is situated on the border between Italy and Switzerland. So it's basically a perfect opportunity, for you to be able to visit two countries at the same time. Now, to get to Como, I had to take multiple trains, I took a train from Parma, where I reside in Emilia-Romagna, to Lodi. And from Lodi, I took another train to Saronno. And from Saronno, I took another train to Como Lago. So I took multiple trains because Parma is in Emilia-Romagna, and since Como is in Lombardia, they are two different regions. So they have two different train operators. So I had to take multiple trains, I finally got to Como, and it was time to start checking things off my list. First on my list was a boat ride. I have never been on a boat before, and honestly, I was really looking forward to it. I think the ticket for the boat ride cost 20 euros, I think, and so I decided to go get tickets. But on getting there, it was an anticlimactic moment. All the excitement I felt about being on a boat for the first time was immediately washed away by the wave of disappointment that followed, when I saw the line, or the queue, to get tickets. There were so many people, and if I decided to wait, I could easily be there for more than 2 hours, And since I was only there for a couple of hours, I just couldn't wait, I decided to go do other things that were on my list. So next on my list was to see the Life Electric sculpture, which is very close to the place you get tickets. Immediately you come out from the train station, you can see it in the distance because it is this big shiny sculpture, and unless you are Stevie Wonder, you cannot miss it. The Life Electric sculpture was created by Polish-American architect Daniel Libeskind in 2015, I think, in honor of Italian scientist Alessandro Volta. So Alessandro Volta is the inventor of the first electric battery, so hence the name Life Electric, for this sculpture. So Alessandro Volta is actually a very important person in Como, seeing as he was born there and he also died in the city. And also close to the sculpture, you find a museum that is dedicated to Alessandro Volta. The museum contains all of his life's work, and most of the tools he used while he was alive are in the museum. So after leaving this sculpture, I decided to go to the museum. Entrance to the museum, is strictly on appointment, so I could not get in because I did not book an appointment. In the vicinity of those places are the War Memorial and also the symbol of European resistance. So the War Memorial was built in honor of Como's victims in World War I, and also the symbol of European resistance was built, in honor of the people who less potentially resisted against Hitler's Nazist regime. This symbol consists of 3 stairs, and allegedly some of the stones there were imported from Hiroshima, which is Japan, and also from concentration camps. I don't know where they are, but from concentration camps. So after walking around for a bit, I was getting hungry now, so I decided to go get something to eat. So in the park, very close to the lake, you will find stores, where people sell food. So I decided to go there and get something to eat. On arriving there, the aroma in the air was amazing. The aroma from all the food that was being prepared mixed together and just explode into the air. It was amazing. The smoke wasn't very, very helpful though. You've got different varieties of food to choose from. Like they have Argentinian food, they have pizza, and they have food from the south too. From places like Puglia, and they also sell beer. So if you want beer, you can also get it in the park. So I settled for a sandwich and a bottle of water, and I took it to the park to eat. Now, the food was very cheap. I paid 11 euros for the sandwich and the bottle of water, which for a city that like Como, which is a tourist city, is actually pretty amazing because I thought it would be much more expensive. After I finished eating, I decided to go see the Cathedral of Como. Now, anybody that comes to Italy knows that the cathedrals, you know, and the architecture are some of the things you absolutely have to see, you know. So I couldn't miss the opportunity to see the Cathedral of Como. So when I got there, it was amazing, you know, for a building that is more than 500 years old. It is more beautiful than any ugly skyscraper out there, you know. So the cathedral is called the Santa Maria Azunta, Cathedrale di Santa Maria Azunta, and it was opened in the year 1396. You know, if you ever go to Como, it is a place I would recommend for you to visit because it is beautiful. So after leaving the cathedral, it was time for one of the things I was really excited to do, which was taking the funicular. So a funicular is sort of like a cable car, but you know how cable cars, you know, they cannot go in the same direction. The funicular is different because there are two cars on the cable, and they have to be at opposite ends, you know, on the slope. So they go up a slope, and when one is going up, another is coming down. So the two of them cannot go up at the same time, you know, those sort of balance things. So when one is coming down, another is going up. Getting the ticket to the funicular rail wasn't easy either, you know, because there was a long line of people. But since I also wanted to see the lighthouse, which is on top of the hill where the funicular is headed, I decided to wait in line, you know. After waiting for what seemed to be an hour and some minutes, it was finally time to get the ticket to the train. So I paid €6.20, I think, to and from the top of the slope. And I waited a few minutes again till we boarded. Now, boarding is actually very difficult because there are a lot of people waiting to board, and although they said the place is wheelchair accessible, I don't think it is actually true, you know, because getting into the funicular is a rush. You know, people are trying to get in, you know, so maybe they can get like window seats, you know, from where they can get the views of the city and stuff. So trying to get a wheelchair will be very difficult. Plus, it's very tight. You know, people are in there struggling and squirming themselves together, you know, to try and get a view. So it is definitely not ideal for someone on a wheelchair. After driving for a few minutes, we finally got to the top, and it was marvelous. You know, you can get a great view, you know, a panoramic view of the city. You know, you get to see the stadium from the top, you get to see all the buildings, and even you can see the Villa Omo, which is on the other side of the lake, from the top. It was amazing, you know. Well, now that we were on the top, it was time to go see the lighthouse, you know. And so I needed to walk because the lighthouse was over 1 kilometer away from where the funicular dropped us. And wow, I can tell you it is not an easy walk. And I can tell you right now that if you have like issues with mobility, you know, or you like a bad knee or ankle, or you have cardiac issues, then this walk is not for you because you have to climb, you know. So it's not a good idea. And if you are also in good shape, you know, and you intend to climb, bring shoes that are appropriate for climbing, because wearing shoes that are not appropriate are a very good way to break your ankles. But if you like hiking and climbing mountains, then this is a perfect opportunity for you to do so. As for me, not so much. So after walking for like 45 minutes, I finally got to the lighthouse. So the lighthouse was built in the year 1927, and it is a gift from the city of Como to Alessandro Volta, you know, 100 years after his death. The man has a museum in his name, he has a lighthouse in his name. I wonder what I have to do to get something in my name too. So, entrance to the museum, to the lighthouse, sorry, costs €2, and you get to go up to the top of the lighthouse if you want. As for me, I was already gassed from the walk, you know, I took to get to the lighthouse, so I was done climbing. That and the fact that I'm scared of height, you know, but it was amazing. And from there, I could get a panoramic view of the city, you know, just like earlier, except this time a little higher, and I could see everything. But I only did one level, and I was tired, so it was time to descend. The descent down from the lighthouse to the funicular rail was hard to take, you know, because it was difficult. Walking down, it felt like I was almost falling, you know, because it is hilly and I'm going down a slope. So I kind of just, but that wasn't the only thing that was hard to take, because when I finally got to the place where I was going to take the funicular down to Como, I found another queue, you know, of people waiting to take the train, even after you've gotten your tickets before coming. To go down to Como, you also have to wait on a queue. And for me, I just said, no, I don't have that much time to wait, before it gets to my turn. So I asked someone there if there was directions, walking directions to Como. And honestly, I found someone who said, yes, you just go down, So long as you are going down, you are in the wrong direction. But I wish I did not go down, on foot, because trust me, it is not something you want to do. If you ever go there, just wait till you get to your turn and take the funicular down to Como. It is better, because I did it and it was really difficult, But after walking for a very long period of time, I finally got down, but I was really tired, I could not do anything else. And plus the fact that it was around almost 6 in the evening, and whatever anything else I wanted to do would probably be closed by now. So I just decided to go home. Now there were other things I would have loved to do that I didn't get to do, and one of them was to see the Villa Omo. So the Villa Omo is a villa, a lakeside villa that was built in the late 1700s, and it was commissioned by the Marquis of Como. So the Marquis is basically a nobleman, just below the Duke. So there's the Duke, there's the Marquis, and below the Marquis there are heirs or counts, as they are called in Europe. Now, the Villa Omo is free, but if you are going to get in, I think there's a 15 euro charge. And if you are rich enough, unlike me, and you have like hundreds of thousands of euros, lying in your account that you are not using, then you can rent the villa for like an entire weekend. You can throw a marriage ceremony, and I don't think lavish parties are allowed, but you can do that if you're rich. And also there's the Como Seaplane Club, something like that. So there I think you can get seaplane rides for like 240 euros, for 2 people if you want. And that is also something amazing to do. I wasn't planning on doing that because I don't want to. And basically that's it. Now, if you watched it to this point, I'm very grateful. I thank you for watching this video. And please like, subscribe, and comment also. I would really love to know, if you've ever been here before. I want to know how was your experience. And if you are planning on coming, I would say yes, this is a city that you should really try to visit. It is beautiful, as they say, and you will absolutely love it. So thank you guys. Until we meet again, arrivederci.